J.D. Nija, word of truth from world famous Bolsa Chica State Beach in Huntington Beach, California. Bible teaching with J.D. Nija. Blue sunny skies, October 30th, 2020. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, the Most High, the unspeakable Tetragrammaton, the Yahweh Vave, the Adonai, the Master, the El Shaddai, the terrible, fucking dangerous Father that people just don't understand. He's not that nice. And his only begotten Son, who is very nice and full of love, to reconcile us back to the Father through the Holy Spirit and the power, wisdom, knowledge, and ability that we get by trusting Him and loving Him. Good morning. I'm back. We are flipping through the Bible. Someone's going to park right next to me, of course. Hi. I kind of park oblong so that people stay away from me. I'd like park odd, but it doesn't always help. Let's see. We're just I'm going through 1 Samuel. We're talking about the same thing that I've been talking about for weeks now, that a lot of people probably aren't that interested in. I don't know. I love it. I love talking about my family tree. It's the most important thing to me right now. David refuses to slay Saul. We all know that story. And it came to pass afterward that David's heart smote him because he had cut off Saul's skirt. All he did was cut a little bit of his robe off, and he was vexed. He felt like shit. All he did was touch Saul's robe and cut it off, and he says, David's heart smote him. He was dying inside. What part of that don't these Muppet brain... It's... These guys can't be Israel. That's the point I'm trying to make. These guys can't be Israel because they don't love the story. They don't love the tribe. They don't love the family. How can they be part of the family? They're not part of the family. They're Edomites. These black Hebrew Israelites. They are fakes, phonies, and... And he said unto his men, the Lord forbid that I should do this thing unto my master. What did David say about Saul? I just gotta laugh at these guys. They're so boneheaded. I don't know who to I don't know where Israel is. I did find a new channel though. This guy's interesting. He came on the comment on someone else's comment board. I forgot whose it was, but he was arguing the same thing. He was arguing against Saul, and I told him, no, man, Saul's going to rise with power in the last days. And a lot of times when I check these scoffers, they don't have a channel. I'll put the channel in the description thing. He reminds me a lot of myself, but he seems like he might actually be true Israel. He talks a lot about women. His mission is to straighten out the women And I respect that. You know, maybe you know, everyone has their specialty, but you got to stay in your lane. I don't do a lot of that Bible teaching on women, although I can. When you talk about Israel and the family, you got to talk about the women has to be able to have sister wives. There's no such thing as a queen. They're all princesses. These are the things that he goes into. The woman is powered by the man. The man is powered by Jesus or Yahushua, and Yahushua is empowered by the master. So when I'll put the channel in the description box. I went to his channel. He had 1,000 videos. This guy's like me. He's like on fire. He did 3 videos yesterday. I was like, damn. I guess that's why he reminds me of me. The spirit is on him heavily, and he didn't argue. He didn't come back and go, I think that brother actually is listened, and he's like, well, shit, maybe I should find out more before I start talking about Saul. And anyone who does talk bad about Saul, they need to really look into it. It's not that hard. You could go through 1 Samuel. All of 1 Samuel is about the house of David, house of Saul relationship. It's the whole thing. And basically what it says is they are together. Just like when the Lord told me, Jeffrey, you are one of mine. You're of Benjamin, of Judah. I looked it up. 2 tribes? How can I be of 2 tribes? Because it's one tribe. It's like, I know this for a fact. This is where I stand. That's where I started in Hebrew Israelism. When he told me, you're one of mine, I went, uh-oh. And then I found out that Judah Benjamin was Israel, and I went, shit, I am a Jew. And he said unto his men, the Lord forbid that I should do this thing unto my master, the Lord's anointed. These are the type of sentences that make me want to just grab these knuckleheads by the throat and throttle them. Because they're saying things that are obviously, patently, provably wrong, and laughing about it. To stretch forth my hand against him, seeing he is anointed of the Lord. Once you have been anointed, you think the Lord's going to just ditch out on you and send you to hell? He didn't anoint you for no reason. He anointed you to get in the story. To get your name in the book. You're in the book. Do they understand this? That's what it says. Your name's written in the book. And David stayed his servants. In other words, he made them stand down. David stayed his servants with these words and suffered them not to rise against Saul. But Saul rose up out of the cave and went on his way. David also arose afterward and went out of the cave and cried after Saul, saying, my lord, the king. And when Saul looked behind him, David stooped with his face to the earth and bowed himself. David's loyalty to Saul. And David said to Saul, wherefore hearest thou men's words, saying, behold, David seeketh thy hurt? Behold, this day thine eyes have seen how the Lord had delivered thee today into mine hand in the cave, and some bade me to kill you. But my eyes spared you, and I said, I will not put forth my hand against my Lord, for he is the Lord's anointed. So how can these guys be teaching the Bible? How can these guys even consider teaching the Bible? They don't know the Bible. And I tell them that. You guys need to go back to school and study more. You guys are messed up. You're not doing it. You're screwing up more than you're fixing. And we need more people telling them, you guys need to listen more and speak less. Man. You know, man. Brother man. Moreover, my father, see the skirt of thy robe in my hand, for I cut it off the skirt of thy robe and killed thee not. Know you and see that there is neither evil nor transgression in my hand, and I have not sinned against you, yet you have hunted my soul to take it. The Lord judge between me and you, and the Lord avenge me of thee, but mine hand shall not be upon thee. But these wicked ass black Hebrew Israelite nonsense filled demons have no problem speaking bad about the Lord's anointed, speaking evil of dignitaries. Do they? As said the proverb of the ancients, wickedness proceedeth from wicked, but mine hand shall not be upon thee. These guys can be as wicked as they want. I just got to remember, they're not worth my effort. The Lord therefore be judge, and judge between me and thee, and see and plead my cause, and deliver me out of your hand. So what's the other big lesson about this Saul David travesty that these guys are pushing out is that they have no right to call anyone wicked. Just like I don't really have any right to call them wicked. It's between them and the Lord. And that's what he said. That's what David's saying right there. I'm not getting in the way. And I guess that's the biggest point that I've been trying to make without saying it, is that we follow the Lord. We do what he says, and we let him handle it. And this is what leads to that saying, how's it go? Love your enemies. Vengeance is mine, in these type of things. You don't think the Lord has a plan for Saul? He had a plan. He made him come back as Paul. But these guys don't get it. They're not that spiritually mature enough to put on anyone's robe. And then Saul admits his sin. I've gone over this. David's promise to Saul. I've done it 8 times, but the only people that are hearing it is us over and over again. I'm like breaking the record on how many times I can talk about the same thing and get no traction. David's promise to Saul, and now behold, I know well that thou shalt surely be king. This is Saul talking to David. And that the kingdom of Israel shall be established in your hand. Swear now therefore unto me by the Lord that thou wilt not cut off my seed after me, and that thou shalt not destroy my name out of my father's house. And David swore unto Saul, and Saul went home, but David and his men got up onto the hold. Did it just say it right there? Will you make a I know you're going to be king. Will you promise me that you won't cut off my name? And thou wilt not destroy my name out of my father's house. Who's the teacher and who's the student here, you Muppets? Fucking Bert and Ernie? I don't really hear that many people talk about the house of Saul. They talk about GMS like they're the house of Saul. I'm like, hell no, they're not. Those guys are wicked Pharisee Judites. Benjamin is pure, man. You don't see anyone out here going, you don't see no Benjamites that aren't talking true, because we're the real prophets. And I've proven that, but anyhow. Let's go to when Saul gets killed. See, and here's where Abner causes some problems for David. David flees to Gath. Let's see. Saul and the witch of Endor. Saul talking to Samuel when he came up. Saul's death. So yesterday we were talking about the armor bearer, and what I believe Saul's going to be David's armor bearer in the kingdom. We're going to be on the shoulder of the Lord. We're the government. We're going to be on the shoulder of Yahushai, Judah, Benjamin. It's going to be David, the kingly rule, and Saul and Benjamin's going to be the armor bearer and the justice and the righteousness. We're going to be the ones that have to get our hands dirty. So that's what the Spirit tells me. If anyone can argue that, if you can find something different than that, let me know. I mean, make a video. I listen. I'm trying to find people to listen to that have anything interesting to say. GMS tends to play around on the peripheral. They talk about, they find the famine, and then they find the scriptures that talk about the famine, and then they talk about the war, and then the nukes, and then they find the little scriptures that talk about that. It's kind of old. They keep saying the same thing over and over again. There's nothing really that's biblical, that's fun. I mean, it's no fun talking about how fucked up the world is. It gets old. Yeah, we know it's fucked up. So what? Yeah. So when Saul's death, now the Philistines fought against Israel, and the men of Israel fled before the Philistines and fell down slain on Mount Gilboa, and the Philistines followed hard upon Saul and upon his sons. And the Philistines slew Jonathan and Abinadab and Malchishua, Saul's sons. And the battle went sore against Saul, and the archers hit him, and he was sore wounded of the archers. So he had arrows in his body, and he was still alive. Then Saul said to his armor bearer, "Draw thy sword and thrust me through therewith, lest these uncircumcised come and thrust me through and abuse me." But his armor bearer would not, for he was sore afraid. Therefore Saul took a sword and fell upon it. Even his own armor bearer wouldn't kill him. So who are these Muppet babies, these GMO freaks, these superheroes in their garments trying to teach the Bible? What the hell are they talking about? And when his armor bearer saw that Saul was dead, he fell likewise upon his sword and died with him. What did his armor bearer do? What does an armor bearer do? You can't come back as an armor bearer with your king dead, whoever you're bearing armor for. You can't come back. You're the armor bearer. You have to die in battle. You're courageous. That's what the point I was trying to make. Saul was a coward in the first go around, but when he comes back, he's going to be brutally courageous. Just like Paul was brutally courageous. I don't know how to teach this stuff. I hope it's fun. I've been looking at this stuff for over 20 years now. I love it. I love knowing the stuff my Lord gives me. It's hard because no one even cares. A lot of people don't even care what this book means. What does it mean? I don't know. It's a great story, though, of life and death and battle and and loyalty and betrayal. And I mean, come on. This is more like literary studies, what I do, than it is Bible study. But it's the Bible. I actually am one of the few people that are out here going, man, this is a great book. Even just as a book, it's a great book. Unbelievable. Phenomenal. Fantastical. And Saul died and his 3 sons and his armor bearer and all his men that same day together. They all fucking fought to the death. No one ran away. And when the men of Israel that were on the other side of the valley and they were on the other side of Jordan, they saw that the men of Israel fled, and Saul and his sons were dead. They forsook the cities and fled, and the Philistines came and dwelt in them. Let me see what I got. Let me get this real quick, and then I'll probably do one more because I love it. And when it came to pass, on the morrow, the Philistines came to strip the slain, and they found Saul and his 3 sons. And they cut off his head and stripped off his armor and sent into the land of the Philistines round about to publish it in the house of their idols and among the people. And they put his armor in the house of Ashtaroth, and they fastened his body to the wall of Bashan. And when the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead heard that what the Philistines had done to Saul, all the valiant men arose and went all night and took the body of Saul and the bodies of his son from the wall of Bashan and came to Jabesh and burnt them there. And they took their bones and buried them under a tree at Jabesh and fasted 7 days. And that's the end of 1 Samuel. And when it came to pass, after the death of Saul, when David was returned from the slaughter of the Amalekites, and David had abode 2 days in Ziklag, it came even to pass on the 3rd day that, behold, a man came. He told him about Saul being dead. David mourned Saul. And then David took hold of his clothes and rent them, and likewise all the men that were with him. They all rent their clothes. They were ripping. They were so damn grieved. And they mourned and wept and fasted until even. Benjamin rises in the morning. He hunts at noon. And he brings home the spoil in the evening. That's his blessing. So they all day long, Salakia, all day long, David mourned for Saul. They mourned and wept and fasted until even for Saul and for Jonathan his son and for the people of the Lord and for the house of Israel, because they were fallen by the sword. A lamentation for Saul, and David lamented with his lamentation over Saul and over Jonathan his son. Also, he bade them teach the children of Judah the use of the bow. Behold, it is written in the book of Jasher, the beauty of Israel is slain upon the high places. How are the mighty fallen? Tell it not in Gath, publish it not in the streets of Ashkelon, lest the daughters of the Philistines rejoice. Let the daughters of the uncircumcised, do not let the houses of the uncircumcised triumph. Ye, the mountains of Gilboa, let there be no dew, neither let there be rain upon you, nor fields of offering, for there the shield of the mighty is vilely cast away, and the shield of Saul as though he had not been anointed with oil. You dumb asses. Man, I can't even read this stuff without getting mad, because do they even read the Bible? From the blood of the slain, from the fat of the mighty, the bow of Jonathan turned not back, and the sword of Saul returned not empty. Fucking pisses me off, man. Saul and Jonathan were lovely and pleasant in their lives, and in their death they were not divided. They were swifter than eagles, they were stronger than lions. You daughters of Israel, weep over Saul, who clothed you in scarlet with other delights, who put on ornaments of gold upon your apparel. How are the mighty fallen in the midst of the battle? O Jonathan, thou wast slain in thy high places. I am distressed for thee, my brother Jonathan. Very pleasant hast thou been unto me. Thy love to me was wonderful, passing the love of women. How are the mighty fallen, and the weapons of war perished? That's what I'm trying to say. They're coming back to kick some fucking ass. Benjamin's coming back to friggin' kill. I'll be back.